G'day guys, Rob here and welcome back to Rob's Model Cars. Well, I've got another brand new model release today and this just arrived a couple of days ago and this is the brand new Ignition Models Top Secret R33 Nissan GT-R. Now this is going to be part of my collection of gold top secret models and I've been eagerly awaiting this one because it was scheduled to be available around February this year, but with all the coronavirus stuff happening around the world, all model releases have been pushed further back. Now we've reviewed a ton of Ignition models before. They just come in these plain brown cardboard boxes with a little bit of Ignition branding all the way around and that protects the box inside. So the models do come in a window box. It does have a hard plastic shell in there as well, which protects the model from getting crushed inside that box. But this is the gold version of the Ignition Top Secret Nissan R33 GT-R. Now, I have mixed feelings about this model. The quality of all Ignition JDM models is really very high and I've very rarely had a defect on any of their models. But this is such an iconic car by the famous tuner Top Secret in Japan that I feel they missed the mark a little bit on this particular car. Now, one of their most famous demo cars in Japan is the Drag 2 demo car, which was an R33 GT-R Skyline, and that had 1200 horsepower. It was an absolute monster. Now, they've got the body kit and the bonnet or the hood is like the real car, but it's just lacking the correct wheels, all the decals down the side, or decals, however you want to pronounce that. And yeah, there's a couple of other little missing elements in this model as well, but we'll get into that anyway. So what we'll do, I'll get this out of the box, unscrewed, we'll put it on the turntable and we'll have a closer look at this brand new Ignition Models Top Secret Nissan R33 GT-R. Okay, so check this out. This is the gold version of the Ignition Top Secret Nissan R33 GT-R. Now, as I said, overall, I think the quality is really good on these Ignition models. They are resin and they are sealed. There are no opening parts on these models. They do have a little bit of weight to them as well, but the details, what is there is really good, really high quality. Now, as I said, the paintwork is really super on this model. It is in this gold metallic, which is fully clear coated and looks exceptionally good. I see no flaws or imperfections on this model in the gold paintwork department, so really quite good there. Now, let's talk about some of the details. So it does have a piece of mesh in front of the intercooler. You've got your intercooler in behind there. You've got your standard GT-R air vents in the bumper bar, your GT-R emblem in the front mouth, and a little bit of mesh in there as well. Now this is the Top Secret style front bumper bar, which looks really good. They've done a really good job on the headlights. They always do at Ignition, so they look pretty realistic. And you do have the bonnet latches on here as well. Now, one thing that is a little bit disappointing for me is that in this big hood scoop here, it's just a solid black piece of plastic. Not even a texture of mesh, not even a real piece of mesh, just a piece of plain black plastic. Now, that is just not acceptable on a model of this price point. That needs to be improved upon. There is some little pieces of black plastic in these three vents here, but at least they have a bit of texture of mesh to look like mesh. This has nothing in there, which is really quite poor. There's another little vent on the side of the hood here, and that's just another little plastic solid trim in there as well. You do have the topsecret.com sticker on the hood there as well, but I tend to feel that they really missed the mark here. All the other Top Secret models had a carbon fiber hood. I think this one should have had a carbon fiber hood as well, so that's something that I might do myself to this model, is actually put some carbon fiber decal on the hood, but yeah, a big miss there. I think they should have had the carbon fiber on the hood, but at the least they could have put a textured piece of plastic in here for this vent opening in the hood. So that's really quite disappointing on this model. If we keep going around, we've got the orange turn signal on the fender here, and we've also got the Skyline GT emblem underneath that, which is a little photo etched emblem. Now, as I've mentioned on other Ignition model reviews, they've gone to a thicker plastic on the windows because the earlier Ignition models suffered from lifting windows. So they've actually gone to a thicker window here on the plastics, which is a good move in the right direction. Windscreen wipers are just molded plastic, but they look quite realistic. Side mirrors are quite well done in the matching body color. We've got reflective, nice material behind for the mirrors. We do have the Top Secret banner in red across the front of the window. Door handles are quite well done. They're just cast into the body. And these are the Top Secret style side skirts with a little scoop in the front here. So, as I said, Top Secret's iconic Drag 2 demo car, exactly the same body kit as this, but it did have a lot of decals on the bottom of the doors and up through the fender. I think it would have looked better if they really tried to replicate that famous car. Now on the back you do have the little electrical aerial, the radio aerial, which is in the down position. On the other side you do have your fuel flap here. Of course that's sealed, and you've got your famous R33 GT-R style rear wing on here, and this has a gold blade as well. I think this should have had a carbon fiber blade, would have looked a lot better. Now the back of the model they've done a really good job on. The tail lights are replicated really well. You've got your nice little Nissan and GT-R emblems on the back there also. You've got your Top Secret style rear pods underneath the bumper bar here, and they've done a great job on this super big muffler underneath. So big silver muffler with a titanium coloured exhaust tip sticking out the back as well. But yeah, overall I think they've done a pretty good job on the back details of the model. Now the model doesn't roll. The front wheels do turn, but the back wheels don't. They are solid. I get asked that all the time, so there you go. So front wheels turn, back does not. Now there's a bit of detail underneath the car. It's all black resin, but you do have bits and pieces molded in there, like the shape of the floor, the exhaust system. Not that you really see the bottom of models, but you could get the hand paints out and paint the exhaust system and gearbox, things like that, which is a really cheap and easy way to dress up the bottom of the model, but that is the bottom of the Ignition Top Secret Skyline. Now, obviously no opening hood or doors, so all we've got left is the interior. So the interior of this model is all black. You can see a bit more through the rear window. Rear window does have the rear wiper on there. You've got your demister lines in there as well. You can see the rear speakers on the parcel shelf cast into there. They're all black. Dashboard has your reasonable amount of detail, all your demister vents along the top. It is right-hand drive. Obviously it is a JDM car. The interior detail is pretty good. Gear shifter, handbrake handle, steering wheel, instrument cluster. It does have the bride or breed seats in there as well, but one major fail is there are no seat belts in this model. So it does not have Takata racing seat belts. It doesn't even have standard seat belts hanging on the side. So I'm not sure whether they just rushed this model out because it was so overdue, but it is a bit of a disappointment. It is missing a few things. As I said, really poor that this is just a solid piece of plastic. No Takata harness seat belts in there. It could have had a carbon hood and a carbon rear blade, but I won't hold that against them. That's fine without it, but that's definitely not acceptable, and the fact that they forgot to put seat belts in this model as well. Now, I don't think I discussed the wheels. It has these OZ racing wheels on there, these multi-spoke wheels. They've done a pretty good job on the wheels. They look pretty good. And as always, they do a great job on the brake calipers and the brake rotors inside as well, front and rear. So yeah, overall, I really do like the model, but it just has a few issues that I think were missed by Ignition models. So missed opportunity to replicate the Super Drag 2 demo car from Top Secret, the 1200 horsepower R33 GT-R. It wouldn't have taken much more additions to this model to replicate that iconic real car. So look, overall, it's a pretty good model. Look, if I was going to give it a Rob score, I'd give it probably a 7 out of 10, but there are some improvements that could be done to it, so otherwise I would have given it a higher score. But as usual, fantastic paint, and the details that are here are quite good. And I've probably mentioned this a ton of times, that Ignition models, they are the kings of JDM replicas. No one makes as many JDM models as Ignition models in Japan. So really quite good, but could be better. So that's going to wrap up today's review of this Ignition Top Secret Nissan R33 GT-R. If you're new to the channel, why not subscribe? Smash that like button if you like the video, and don't forget to click that bell notification as well so you don't miss any of the new model reviews coming. Now, there's a heap of models coming in very shortly, so stay tuned to the channel. Plenty of new models to review for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, but until next time, thanks for watching Rob's Model Cars.